So number one, avoid having distracting backgrounds. Later, we will have a photo opportunity for documentation. So I hope that you all would participate. Mute your microphones when you are not speaking and check your audio regularly. Do not use multiple devices in loudspeaker mode and use the raise hand icon when you want to speak or ask a question to our resource speaker. Do not place your fan directly to your microphone or device to avoid unnecessary noises. Listen attentively and participate in activities and answer the evaluation form to be sent after the webinar. So again, welcome to the LMS orientation for faculty members. To start this program, let us have a moment of reflection to be followed by the Philippine National Anthem. Please stand by. Again, welcome to the LMS orientation for faculty members this morning. So for now, let me call on our director, Professor Christy Florence Kalina Calaor, to introduce to us our resource person for today. Ma'am Christy.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending this orientation for LMS facilitated by the DLRC in partnership with the LMS team. So, good morning again. So, it is my honor to introduce our resource speaker. He is currently a computer maintenance technologist at the Digital Innovation Center of the University of the Philippines, Visayas, which is formerly known as the Digital Information Systems Program, or DISP. Formerly, he was the IT officer of the said unit and has served as resource speaker in different software and hardware training programs conducted by the office. Before working at UP Visayas, he served as an instructor and IT Center Administrator at West Visayas State University from 2004 to 2008. He also served as the MIS Technical Support Staff at the University of San Agustin from 1999 to 2004. His experience in the field of information technology and computer science allows his competencies to support the Digital Innovation Center or DIC as they provide the IT support to the university constituents. He graduated at the Western Institute of Technology or WIT with distinction in 1999 with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering and up his educational journey with a degree in Masters in Management, Business Management at the University of the Philippines, Visayas in 2020. He has recently been appointed as the Project Development Assistant for UPV Learning Management System. Along with the LMS team, he administers the LMS of UP Visayas. Please welcome our resource speaker for today's LMS orientation, Mr. Wilfredo L. Palete Jr.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Christy. So, and also welcome, Sir Fred. And thank you for being with us here today. So before we officially start the orientation, may I please request everybody to please open your camera to have a short photo op for our documentation. Okay, so I'll be the one taking the screenshot. Let's wait for others to turn on their cameras. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, and smile. And one more. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. So thank you so much for being with us here today, faculty members. And I would like to give the virtual floor to Mr. Wilfredo Palete for the orientation proper.
Yes. Hello, good morning, everyone. I think most of you knows me already, and I think some of you I also have a close encounter with. So to start, I think hindi ata we'll just proceed to our orientation today. Let me share my my presentation. Okay. This is an UPBL Miss Orientation Training for faculty. I think most of you already have already used our UPB LMS for quite some time now. But for those who are new to the university, and I think this is quite it's no, it's a proper time for us to know our what do you call that online online instruction modality. Okay, this is our UPV LMS system. Okay, to start with, our first session will be talking about the introduction and a quick tour of our LMS. Then for session 2 later, we'll be having the course management. I think if you have LMS account right now, you can see on your account, on your dashboard, the courses that was like. Then we're going to talk about the resources and activities. So how do our course activities, our quizzes, or our assignments. Then some other functions and features for LMS. Okay, so what is UPV LMS first? This is a model-based learning management system designed for UPV. It was established, or it was started during the pandemic. As you all know, this is our primary way of delivering instruction to our student during the time, since we don't have face-to-face classes. And after the pandemic, when we returned a hybrid system, so we can do face-to-face and we can do online instruction. Okay, so why Moodle? This is actually Moodle is a system that we uses for our LMS. So why Moodle? Because it is a free, it is open source, so we can tweak it according to our needs. Quite popular since this is since free siya and widely used. Most of the universities, big universities, are actually using this one. If you are familiar with the Open University of our system, they also use Moodle from the start of their existence. It is supported by global community. Can be configured. It can be configured according to our needs. It's highly flexible and feature rich, since global community contributed mostly to further to all the features of this system. So for the users, we have three kinds of users in our LMS. So the faculty, that is you, and then the students, and also the administrators, that is us on our side. So we do the upgrading and we do the uploading of courses and student list in our LMS. So previous versions, we have the LMS 1, which is no longer no longer present in our server. Also the LMS 2, and lately the LMS 3 is was used last SEM, but due to some what do you call that? Due to some a difficulty in running the plagiarism plugin in our system, we opted to upgrade it to LMS 4, which is the current system right now that we are using, that we will be using for this semester. Okay, for the URL, this is URL lms.upvisayas.net. If you have question, sorry, if you have question, you can just raise your hand. Okay, so what can we do with UPV LMS? For faculty, you can access the assigned courses. So assigned courses, it's not just courses that we would like to upload in your under your name, under your account, but this is on the data based on the UPV CRS. Okay, you can upload, create online course materials, your course pack, create and conduct online learning activities, create and conduct online assessment activities like your quizzes, exams, backup and import courses. So if you have course materials in LMS 3, you no longer have to input it individually or manually again. You just have to back up your course packs or course materials from LMS 3 and import it to your to the LMS 4. So you can monitor student activities and performance. You can conduct survey using LMS. You can communicate, discuss with students via forums, chat, or messaging, and link to third-party apps like Zoom. You can put your Zoom link in your LMS and Google Drive. For students naman, they can access the enrolled courses and its content. So if if you're under a certain faculty and that faculty uploaded this course materials, students can access those materials. So they can submit assessment activities like assignments or submissions or at the forum. They can can take exams or quizzes, participate in surveys, participate in discussions and sessions via or link their apps and communicate with faculty through chat. So they can also view their performance or their attendance. So what things we should know before we use it. So like last week we uploaded the data last Saturday. So we have the user account for students and faculty. So it is emailed to you individually. The course pages with participants, faculty in charge and enrolled students, user profiles with course enrolled for students, and course assigned for faculty. So that is already uploaded. So since extended aton extended aton enrollment, so from time to time there are data that are uploaded on a daily basis. Normally we upload it either at night or in the morning. So please take note that the LMS is not directly linked to CRS. That's why enrollment data is from CRS is processed and uploaded to LMS by batch. So merging of courses with multiple sections handled by a faculty can be requested via email to lms.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. So kindly CC your academic unit so that they know things like merging are happening in LMS. So we also have Turnitin in our LMS, but right now it is still being configured. We are still coordinating with the library people and the Turnitin technical team for proper configuration of our Turnitin plugin. Okay, so this is our session, and then some links or email address for LMS team. You have there the lms.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. For help desk, you can click this link, and our RA will be happy to answer your queries. So we also have help desk in our website. You just click on the help desk section. Okay, so some reminders. So request for help desk support. You use the help desk link in your UPV LMS or email at our official email. Request for UP email account and issues, you can email to disp.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. Just a reminder to all the new faculty who have not yet received their UP email. We normally, since I am also in charge of the UP email, i-segue ko na lang that for new faculty, we normally wait for HRDO request for the issuance of your UP email. A change of password in LMS, you can do the forgot password, and it will ask you of your username or email address. Enrollment and CRS concerns, you have there the our.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. So for Turnitin concerns, you have the chat beside at upvisayas@up.edu.ph. Then please read announcement and advisories in the login page. For faculty reminders, request for new user accounts without CRS account should be done by your academic unit and through email to LMS. Kindly remind your academic unit to request via email for your new user accounts if you have not received your own CRS account, your LMS account. Request for merging of course with sections should be via email. then CC Academic Unit. Check and set course date. This is important. Please check and set course date before the start of classes while uploading contents. And at the end of classes, please or also check and set course end date right after the end of classes. Okay, you may import courses or course materials from previous semesters to current using the backup and restore import functions of LMS. So always read announcement and advisories in the login page. Okay, so this is the LMS team. So myself, we have Karch, Malaga, Herbert Nalagay for the data generation from the CRS, and Sir Nilo Aranita, the previous PDA for LMS. Any question for our for this first session? So far, no question. And okay, let me show you our new LMS, LMS 4. I think most of you already opened this, the site. Sorry. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay, so this is now our LMS 4. So if you can see, it's still there. No announcement yet, since all announcements were previously launched or LMS 3. So if you want to access LMS 3, there is a button here at the upper left. So you can click on that. And by the way, your username, for those who have used LMS 3 before, the same username can be used to access your old course materials. Okay. So this is how it looks like. So let me log in as a faculty first. Sorry. You can read our approval use policy and other informations. So do you have any comment on our new LMS? So as faculty, this is how the dashboard looks like when you log into your to your account. So here in this slide, you can see all the courses that that was assigned to you, and also here you can see the last course or courses that you have accessed. Then if you are if you have configured your dashboard to show some blocks like the latest announcement and other information, some of you might have sorry, enable the calendar block. So the calendar will be shown here. To enable some of the blocks that is available in our LMS, you can click on the edit mode. And this button will be shown in your dashboard. So you can add block. So you can, these are more or less the standard available blocks in our LMS. So calendar, you can hide or show it in I'll just show the calendar. So what is the importance of this calendar? So in LMS, most of the activities, like if you set deadline, you can it will automatically be shown in your calendar. So right now, I have uploaded an assignment with the deadline on August 20. So automatic, I can see it whenever I log into my account that I have assignments set for August 20 deadline. Same with the students.
So I'm
Yes,
not sure
yes.
if you're around, but if ever you are here, I also would
So any question so far? Okay, I'm using a dummy course and the dummy account. So in our in your once you log in, there are some buttons above. You have the dashboard, my courses, and then the guides. These are our previous guide, but can still be used. Then training videos and the help desk. So what the help desk looks like. So you have there the help desk page. So you'll be required to input your name, your email address, your request or issue. Then you have some details. Then just click the assign to UPB LMS team and submit. It will be emailed to our team, and I think it's for the day 8 to 5. Somebody will contact you or via email or answer your queries or issues. Okay, question? Okay, let's now go to our courses. So how do we set topics or our schedule in our course? So we have there first, you can design this whatever way you want. Like in my case, this theme course, first the general, you have there the announcement, but you can design your page in such a way that whatever you want to go first. Then normally we have certain topics or schedule in our syllabus. So we just follow whatever our syllabus is looks like. The more or less it is a digital of our syllabus. And then the materials we can upload it here. So like we have here the week 1, you can change this into a topic like or subject matter that you want to tackle. So you can create an assignment. You can also upload the book. Then you can upload files. So here you can add activities, add activity or resource. So if you click on this and make sure that you are on an edit mode if you want to add an activity or resource. So this is enabled. I think most of you are familiar with this. So add activity or resource. So you have there options. So you can add an assignment, you can add a book, a chat, you can add a file, you can add a folder, then a forum. Then you can also add your lessons. Okay, let me check the lesson. So lesson 1. So you can put the description, the appearance. So there are you can modify and configure the appearance of your lesson. So you can set availability. So if you want to have like it will only be available for a week, so August 15 to August 22. You can set, including this is also true to quizzes. You can also set time limit, but right now we just put in no limit, but just available for a week only. Okay, allow students to review. Can set on that. So depending on your the type of things or resource that you upload, you can set if you want students to review or not. You can also put grade or maximum grade to pass. You can do that. I think most of us are just doing the upload all the courses, all the course materials, but not actually using some of the features here. Because I saw some of my colleagues using also LMS in other schools. Most or all of their quizzes are uploaded in their LMS, and at the end of the SEM, they can actually see all their grades, and the computations is already there. So these are the options. So you can just you can, if you choose to just put in just the generic settings, you can do, and just save the activity. So you can see it here, the lesson. Okay, so you can edit it anytime you want. You can move it, like you want to move it other section, so you can assign it to other section. Okay, so those are the way on how we how we add a resource or activity in our courses. So you can also see the participants here. Right now, the only enrolled participant in my demo course, I think only one, our dummy student. So your name as instructor can also be seen here. So all your students, you can see it here. So if you don't have students in your course, kindly email lms.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. So you can also see the grades, like this one, or you can actually put grades on their like in assignment 1, lesson 1, in their course total. And also some reports. Some of you may not be aware of this, but you can actually see when was a student log in, or who is logged in like right now in your course. So I think most of the faculty are using this one to dispute. Sometimes like students would say, "Ma'am, I log into LMS, but I did not see any any activities there." So you can check on this if indeed that student has log in on this any time of the course of the semester. So you can actually see when was the last login of this particular student or person. So like this one, I can see that the student enrolled in my course has logged in last August 14 at 8:55 p.m. So that is how specific the logs are. Okay, so those are the reports. So activity reports. So uh, you can see it here. Uh, what are the activities created on your courses? So these are summaries. If you want to know when did you create, when was the assignment created, and when will it end? Okay, and also you have there the activity completion. So you can see students if you have already submitted their assignments, and if they have participated in your forums or chat. Okay, question. So you can button if you have things that are not clear to you. You can just raise your hand, and I think Jan will be happy to moderate this session. Okay, you can. Yes, Sir Nico. Yes, Sir Nico. Sorry.
Hello, Sir Fred. Sir Nico is not available on audio. So, Sir Nico, can you please type in your query so that I will be able to read it to our audience in case they also have the same question. Sir Fred, Sir Nico
Yes.
is asking if if they can have a demonstration, if you can somehow show them the plagiarism checker feature.
Right now, sir, sorry, we have not finished the configuration of our plugin checker, but I think the library will be conducting a separate session for that, and using also the LMS. But we have not yet finished the no, the configuration. We have problems with the configuration right now. It seems that it is not working at the moment since as late as last night we're trying to have it work. Just this morning we verified and still it's not working. But we'll be announcing to you guys if LMS, if plagiarism or Turnitin is already available.
Thank you,
I
sir.
think we're going to have it this week. Within this week, dapat naayos na namin.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
sir.
much, Sir Fred. And thank you so much, Sir Nico, and welcome to the LMS orientation. So any more questions regarding the first part of this orientation? If you are unable to unmute or if you are don't have any access to a microphone or technical difficulties, you can just type in your questions so that I may be able to read it to our other um, participants. Sir Fred, there's a question here. How to use the competencies option? A participant is asking because he or she is curious about on how to use the competencies option. Can you somehow have
Okay.
a
Okay. I'll just show you the competencies. So I think you will be setting this one if you want to as you have to choose this is actually what no. Okay, sorry. I think I don't have option for competencies framework. Shit. Okay, course competencies. Okay, so we have here the assignment 1. I should have no, sorry, I'll check on this because this is a seldom used feature. Actually, I just for this new version of LMS, I don't know sa LMS3 kung if you have competencies, but yan, sino nag-question? Sorry.
The participant would
From-
rather remain anonymous, sir.
I kindly email us, sir, or ma'am, so that we can address this one. I think it was not yet what do you call that,
Enabled.
enabled in our system.
Sir, thank you so much, Sir Fred. So, for queries, you can always email the LMS team. They have provided their contact details for you. Sir, ito yung important question. I think everybody would be interested in this. Meron bang automatic transfer from old courses from LMS 3 to this semester LMS 4, or do they have to do it manually?
Yes, yes, sir. As a reminder a while ago, you have to manually back up your files in LMS 3 and do the restore in LMS 4. There's no automatic transfer of sorry for that, but there's no automatic transfer of our courses because some of the materials can be can change in any time. Like in our LMS 3, you can do the updating in LMS 4. But yes, you have to do the backup and restore function of our LMS. Yeah,
Thank
it
you
has
so-
to be you individually.
Thank
Sorry.
you so much, Sir Fred. So I hope that clears it out. So for faculty members, you have to migrate your materials manually. Is that correct, Sir Fred? Manually to the LMS
Yes,
4 from,
yes,
from LMS 3. So there is no automatic transfer. Sir, next question. I tried posting an announcement and specified in the settings to be posted for a week. I am notified by mail, but it was not displayed on the course page unless I click the announcement button. So I think this is about yung posting, scheduled post siguro, sir, ng announcements.
Okay, let me check on my announcement details here. Availability should be like for a week.
Yes, sir.
Just show you how to set the availability and yes, that's I think it can be shown in an I don't know how did you set the date, but based on the things that I did is just should be availability should be just no, just set the date. And I think I need more details on that problem. If you can show more or you can provide more details on the activity that you did in your announcement.
Thank you
Yes,
so
can
much,
we ask-
sir.
Can we ask the one who asked the question?
It states here that he also did the same thing with the
Mm.
announcement. So the participant was notified by mail, but somehow it wasn't displayed in the LMS page unless
In its course page or
sa course page niya siguro, sir. So maybe there is a problem. The problem is somehow na nag-set na siya ng announcement pero hindi na-post on schedule.
okay. So by the way, sorry. So you have there the due date and the cutoff date for the announcement. So you set like the announcement will be shown. I don't know if this is like it will be shown in some other day. Is that what he wants to or she wants to do with the announcement? It will be scheduled not on the day of the posting, but rather like you just posted it in advance, but it will be shown later in the week of the week.
Thank you so much, sir. So again, for any longer concerns, please refer to the LMS team. They have already also given you their contact details. So this for concerns na medyo individual siya or medyo specific, you can always consult with the LMS. Sir, last for this round siguro. May nagtatanong lang, sir, in relation to the plagiarism checking, sir, service of the LMS or feature. Will there be an improvement daw po ba, sir, sa plagiarism checker ng new LMS version? Because the problem with last SEM, as per stated here, was that merong mga delays in terms of checking because they were put on queue.
Yes, sir. I think that is one of the problems that Turnitin is addressing. The put on queue. They actually revised their connectivity, their integration uh, process with the Moodle. They actually
Open the next
that's why we were forced to upgrade to connectivity process of Turnitin. I just don't know lang with how because we were not in charge with the Turnitin account. We just integrate the Turnitin and LMS. Uh, 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 but we'll be coordinating with the
Thank you so much, Sir Fred. I don't know, there will be new features in terms of plagiarism. So in connection to this, Sir Fred, somebody is asking if if the plagiarism checker for this semester will also include content check for AI generated content. Please wait for a while as we are having some connectivity issues here. So Sir Fred will be back. Please wait for a while as Sir Fred is trying to reconnect.
Okay, sorry for that. Okay, Yan. What's the last question, Yan?
Sir, somebody is asking in relation to the to the LMS plagiarism checker, if it would also include AI generated content check. It's also to assure that the students are posting original and authentic na mga outputs. So will it also include AI generated content check?
I think the last time that I checked with no, this is actually the AI generated check depends on our subscription with Turnitin, and but the last time I checked, I think may demo sila for the AI generated checker, but I don't know lang if the university availed of that additional subscription for in Turnitin. I will check with the no with the library in charge of our Turnitin if indeed AI was already included in their in their subscription.
Thank you so much, Sir Fred. So for everyone's information, the administration of our plagiarism check services here in the university is the university library. So for specific concern, for example, there is one here that is asking if what will happen for official plagiarism disputes. Like for example, in a context, a student has passed an output on LMS and it was flagged as a plagiarized content, and then the student would also show a result or an you call it a receipt from another plagiarism checking service tool. So I think that would be best answered by our administration of the plagiarism checker of the university. So we will keep you posted on that.
Yeah, I think I'll just also add to that. Yeah, I think most of us are now dependent on the plagiarism checker because we cannot deny that AI right now is no it's very popular, especially to students. But I think it is not just our administrator, but the the dispute can be on well as a faculty, of course you can have a leeway because some of the schools that I've known, they have the threshold on how many percent is acceptable for plagiarism checker. I have not seen it in Turnitin, but some of the faculty or my friends who are taking up courses in other schools, big universities, some of their faculties announced that I will only allow up to 20% 20% of your content to be for our plagiarism. Our threshold is only 20%. After that, it will be flagged as really plagiarized materials. So as I think it would be best for you to discern on this. And in our university, as far as I know, we have not yet touched on how do we settle dispute. I think so. It will be best for us right now, while waiting for further like set of protocols on how to tackle these issues. I think in our end, we can do the threshold thing, and if indeed the student disputes, I think it all depends on how reputable uh, those plagiarism checker they're using right now. But yeah, AI right now is a big thing for us to 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 really look into. And I also no me also I use AI in some of my activities, but not related to my academics or any important works.
Thank you so much, Sir Fred. So I think a lot of faculty members will be very interested in talking about plagiarism and AI in the university, since as you mentioned, we are yet to have any sort of protocol to officially settle disputes regarding plagiarism and AI. So proceeding to the questions here, sir. Somebody is asking if what icon should they click if they want to upload new lessons. They can only see new section and general.
Yes, that is actually the new section. You can edit that one. But this is the thing in our LMS, because right now we have the new LMS. There are some accounts who have problems in like adding blocks, but whenever we try to use our dummy accounts in adding blocks, we can add blocks seamlessly, but in other accounts, they cannot proceed with creating blocks or adding blocks in their dashboard. And could be best. I cannot answer it right now, and on if you just say it in your question, but if you can show your screen, can we allow the one who asked the question to share his or her screen, so that I can see the dashboard that he has on his LMS account.
Sige, sir. I'll keep on contact with the
Yes,
one who
please.
asked the question. Sir, proceed na lang muna tayo sa next question. Ito sir, I think it's also an interesting question. So, can they still revisit the content of their LMS3, sir, with the utilization of the LMS4? Can they still visit their LMS3?
Yes, you can still visit the LMS 3 until such time there will be announcement that it will be decommissioned again. Because we're running low on storage space. Hopefully we can finish the proposal on adding more space or storage space in our system. And yeah, primary considerations why we delete or decommission the previous versions of our LMS is the storage. We cannot keep everything because the storage has cost considerations. I think that the LMS 3 2020 to 2021 school year was already deleted. I think the previous two SEMs are still okay in LMS 3.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. So I think that it will be best if the faculty member would provide a backup for their LMS3 content, right, Sir Fred?
Yes, yeah.
So I think we have a vast storage space for our Google individual Google Drive using our UP Mail. So maybe you can utilize those resources also to back up your files in the LMS3. Sir, next question. Hindi ba automatic na ang lahat ng faculty, specifically for team teaching, will be notified of the announcement? Hindi
For
kasi lumalabas ang notice sa kanilang email.
yes, yes. For team teach, I think you need to email elements.upvisayas@up.edu.ph for that matter, so that it can be assigned to you as well individually.
Oh, okay. Thank
I
you so
think
much, sir.
yeah, it has to be manually assigned to you. I don't know lang if at the start of CRS, your it was already declared as this is a team teach, so you have two faculty on 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 this course. But sometimes team teaching is being done after the enrollment. So the decisions were made after the enrollment. So it was not reflected in CRS. So we depend on the data of the CRS. And yes, but if you decide to do the team teaching, please email lms.upvisayas@up.edu.ph and kindly CC your division or department or institute.
Thank you so much, sir. So for team taught courses, please email the LMS na lang daw. For para ma-administer nila or ma-manage nila yung LMS accounts nyo. Sir, my question dito, how do you make a submission bin for class activities?
Submission pins. What do you mean by submission pins? Sorry.
Submission bin, sir, for activities.
Pins or pins? Sorry.
Bin, sir, bin.
Bin. Okay. So for submission, like you have either the assignment.
Okay, please wait for a while Sir Fred is being assisted due to technical difficulties here in the office. Whoever there is mentioning of LMS3 be made ahead of time through email, that would be much appreciated. So they were taken aback with the current with the sudden shift at LMS4. So yes, ma'am or sir, we will be asking the LMS team to make the decommissioning of the LMS3 be announced ahead of time, so that you can also prepare, with your backups and all. So, but we advise that you do try to back up your files ahead of time also. So, sir, are you back? So, Sir Fred is back. So, sir, yun po yung question. How do you make class submission bin for class activities?
I think all submissions are being stored in our LMS system. So if you what do you call that? If you want to have a separate container, I don't know if that is what you mean for your submissions. It will be placed on the assignment that you've made. So all submissions will be placed there. So you can actually see submissions by students by going to your assignments. As long as students submitted the assignment, it will be stored in our system until such time that you have checked those assignments. And you can view the submissions. So this is how it looks like. So you can put grades in there. I don't know if this is what you mean, ma'am or sir. But all submissions will be stored in our system. And whatever like you have quizzes, all quizzes will be assigned to that certain portion of your screen, like sa assignment. So assignment one, all submissions for assignment one can be you can just revisit the assignment one portion, and you can see all the submissions in that for that assignment. Did I answer that question? Sorry.
I think you did naman, sir. So it's about submissions of the student activities. So anyway, sir, Sir Isidoro Cruz is right here now for the his query earlier that he's only seeing new sections in general for
Yes,
yes, there you go. Yes, sir. So
Yes, sir.
ito po yung screen ni Sir Isidoro Cruz. Sir Cruz, can you please explain your concern? His question earlier was that what icon should I click to upload new lessons? I only see new sections and general.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can actually edit this name, the new section. All you need to do is just click on the edit mode at the upper right corner of your screen. Sir Cruz, you can click on the edit mode. Yeah,
You can click on that, sir,
click on that, sir.
to turn on editing.
Edit mode. The edit
Sa-
mode, so that you can edit the ano.
Sa upper right po, sir, you need to click the edit mode to turn it on. The button, sir, the circle button on the upper right corner.
The Sir Cruz.
Okay, sir, we'll try later. I think he's also having connectivity issues.
I'll just show you, sir, how to turn on the edit mode. So right now your screen is like this. So you're under the dashboard. So when you go to your course, this is what you'll see. So if you want to edit all of these, so you have there the general. So this one I already edited from new section to week one. I'll just turn on this edit mode here. You can see my screen. So just click on that and wait for it to become green. And these buttons will be shown. You can add. And also this pencil button. So this is actually an edit button. So you can you can click on that and check and edit or type any name you want. Right now, I'm going to change it into general announcement. From general to general announcement. Sorry. Okay, so that is how you edit. Then if you want to edit this section, you want to change the topic, like reduction to okay. So that is how you edit the sections, and you can upload your course pack or course materials by clicking on the activity or add activity or resource. You can do the file. So previous last training that we have conducted, VC Ferrer asked regarding the uploading of multiple files. So if you choose the file, only one file will be shown on your dashboard. and some of us are uploading multiple files with the same topic. So what we're going to do is just to add a folder for us to add multiple files. So you add folder, then you put it you put a name on that folder. So what will be shown is I already did this folders thing. So what will be shown is this one. So I actually created or uploaded multiple files. So if I disable the edit mode, this is what will be shown on my dashboard. So multiple files. So these are the files that I have uploaded for, like readings of reading materials of students. So you don't need to put in or to upload the file one by one, like in this case. I actually have uploaded in this area two files, but only one was shown. Okay, only the primary file was shown on the screen. So, but these multiple files, you just have to select the folder. Okay. Sir Cruz, did you try it already?
Okay na, sir.
Edit
Okay
mode?
na, sir.
Okay na daw
Okay.
po, sir.
Okay na, sir.
Okay.
Salamat, sir. Salamat.
Thank you so much, Sir Fred. So, ito lang, sir, merong lang mga some questions also regarding the i-confirm lang nila, sir, can they manually add grades for activities that were done outside of LMS? Like, for example, face-to-face activities, they also integrate that in the grade book or grade sheet in the LMS?
Yes, if you want to, but you have to create like some container on that. Like the problem lang is you can actually add on your grades. Let me check. Sorry. But I think that the grade can be assigned, but you have to create like you have one activity here. You have to add an activity resource, but you also have to upload one by one or you have to assign to them like you conducted the quiz outside. Outside quiz. Let's check. I think yes. So this is not the way. Sorry. So let's check the grade. So you can just add in this case. So if you click on the grades of students, yes, you can. You just have to add like other activity or resource, wherein you can put grade on that resource later on. Like shall we say you put in not quiz, you just create an activity that is not quiz. So let's try the feedback. So, sorry. Iba pala yung format ni feedback. Okay. So you can just parang dami lang siya because the file can be I can put activity portion. Okay. Try natin. Then let's check the grades. Ay, ayan na lang. Dapat may file pala. Sorry. So you can check on the grades. Indeed, that the file. Ayan. It is not shown here. But the lesson. So only things like assignment. Write the assignment. So you can actually click on the completion condition. Like you can have student click manually if he has already done the activity. Okay, so we added another assignment here. Then the grades. Yes, you can actually just have a dummy assignment wherein you can encode the grades later on, but that is an activity done outside the LMS. Okay, we just have to how do we call that? Modify or do the workaround. If you give an activity outside the LMS and you want it to if you want the grades to be included in LMS, so that will be automatically computed. So you can just put in a dummy activity for that. Okay.
Thank you so much, Sir Fred. So I hope that clarifies some things. So for those activities that that had been done outside of LMS, for example, face-to-face or submission through any platforms, you still have to put in an activity or activity through the LMS also in order for you to input the grades manually there in the LMS so that it will be seen by the student also. Sir Fred, somebody is asking if they can somehow have a way of looking at the LMS page, perhaps a preview mode, so that they may be able to see the LMS or the course page in the perspective of their students.
We cannot. I don't know if you can switch role as student. You click on this portion, your name, the initial of your name, then switch role and click student.
Will that feature be available for faculty members, sir, or is that just
Yes,
for
I think so.
administrator? Okay.
I think I'm not an administrator right now. I'm just the account I'm using is just a dummy faculty. So you can switch your role as a student so that you can see the account as a student. So more or less our dashboard looks the same, except lang for some functionality like the edit mode. If you're a student, you don't have an edit mode. You can see it here. Sorry. Then this is the buttons available to students. He can see his classmates and the faculty, and he can see his grades. Okay. So let's check the competencies. So right now, I'll just get back to you on the competencies thing of LMS. So this is the point of view of the student. This is what they will see. So since we set this one as a student must manually mark if he has already did the assignment. So he has to click on this, like after reading the materials posted, he has to click on this button here, so that the faculty will know that that the student already did his readings or assignment.
Thank you so much, Sir Fred. So that I hope that answered the question. So in order for you to look at the course page in the perspective of your students, you have to switch role to student. So yung role nyo sa LMS is teacher, of course. And then in order to see how your page looks like on the perspective of your students, you have to switch role in the upper right corner also in the profile area. So sir, another question here. Apart from activity logs, is there a quicker or alternative way to see which students have viewed or clicked on the announcements? So I think this pertains to how do they monitor if their students indeed had seen their announcements or clicked their announcements. Meron po ba daw alternative way or alternate way or quicker way to do that apart from activity logs?
I think, sir, this is the only recordings that the system is giving us in order for us to monitor the activity of the students. But in our as administrator, we do have some of the tools. We'll check if it will be available, will be made available to you on how do we configure those tools. But for faculty, this is the only available reports that this is giving us to monitor the activities of our students.
Thank you so much, Sir Fred, for answering that question. So we do not have any questions in queue. So if there is none, so are there any more questions regarding the LMS? Yes, sir, it has been confirmed here that the faculty indeed has a switch role option in the LMS. So you might want to try that out while you're, configuring your LMS so that you may be able to view it in the perspective of your students. So again, any questions? Okay, so there are no questions left, Sir Fred. So are there any more that the teachers would find interesting in this iteration of LMS?
Yes, I think compared to LMS 3 or the previous version, I think the configuration of LMS 4 is quite medyo compact siya, and hindi siya ganun ka topsy-turvy. we ano. But yeah, I think this is more or less ano na parang na-simplify na yung ano, yung page ng bawat ano, bawat faculty, and well, highly configurable naman siya. So you can configure according to what you want. So you can actually add blocks here, and as mentioned earlier, you can if you want like if you know some blocks that are needed in your course, kindly email us so that we can add in this portion on what are those blocks are that you need, what blocks you need. Yeah, we can activate or add it here so that you can put it in your dashboard. Okay.
Thank you so much, Sir Fred Paleta. There are no more questions in queue here. So I guess this ends our orientation for today. So anyways, if you have any more questions, you can always contact the LMS team through their email address, lms@upvisayas@up.edu.ph. For everyone here with us today, please answer the Google form that is posted in our chat box. So it would really help us improve our programs and services and activities for the months to come. So I hope that you answer our evaluation sheet posted in the chat box. So I think on behalf of the Teaching and Learning Resource Center and all the faculty members present here, Sir Fred, we would like to thank you for being our resource speaker for today. So the LMS is still developing, is still developing also. Thank you so much, Sir Fred. So for more questions, you can always contact the LMS or you can contact the LMS through the TLRC. So we're always here to help you. With me today is Ma'am Sharon Iliana, monitoring the Zoom, and Sir Mike Remotin and Sir John Cayona, who are also helping me with the technical role. So again, on behalf of the Teaching and Learning Resource Center, thank you so much, Sir Fred. Certificate of appreciation is in order for you. So also with me here today is our director, Professor Christy Florence Calaor. And I believe that ends our orientation for this morning for faculty members. So I hope that you have a great SEM ahead. And of course, welcome to our newly hired faculty members and welcome back to our returning faculty members and welcome also to our continuing faculty members. So thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Don't forget answer our evaluation form posted on the chat box. Thank you.